So can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today I shall discuss the transfer characteristics of a long channel MOSFET and particularly different components of current at different bias conditions. So you know that there are sub-threshold condition of operation of MOSFET and also threshold and then strong inversion region of operation of the MOSFET. But in the sub-threshold region, this sub-threshold conduction is dominated by the diffusion component of current. So there are two components of current which flow through the MOSFET. One is the diffusion component of current and another is the drift component of current. So in the sub-threshold region of operation, the current is mainly dominated by the diffusion component of current, while the drift current dominates in the strong inversion region of operation. And you know the Pausa, this double integral model for calculating drain current of a MOSFET, and where the this formulation is applied to the total current only. So it is actually based on the current continuity equation and which applies to the total current, not the individual component of current. So therefore, you can easily understand that the fractional ratio between the drift and diffusion component of current may vary from one point to another along the channel. So if we consider a low value of drain voltage, then it is possible to separate out the drift and diffusion component of current by using this equation number 30 for phi s. So this is the equation number 30. No, it is given in your notes. Okay. So the equation which involves the surface potential phi s. Okay. So now I come to another important point. You know that the total current means total drain current that is proportional to dV dy. And the drift component of current is proportional to the electric field along the channel. Or you can say it is d phi s dy, and this can be transformed to d phi s dV. So two important things. You must remember that the total drain current that is proportional to dV dy. And the drift component of current is proportional to the electric field along the channel. So that is d phi s dy, or it can be transformed to d phi s dV. You know that the total drain current, it has two components. One is the drift component of current, another is diffusion component of current. This total current that is proportional to dV dy and the drift component of current is proportional to the electric field along the channel, and that electric field can be given by, that is proportional to d phi s dy, or it can be transformed to d phi s dV. Now, if we let this V tends to 0, so you can get this electric field d phi s dV that can be given by this equation number 41. So the numerator contains the term Ni square divided by Na square into e to the power minus q into surface potential phi s divided by kt. And in the denominator, it contains three terms. You can see easily 1 plus Ni square by Na square e to the power exponential q phi s by kt plus cox square divided by epsilon silicon qna into phi s mod phi s divided by cox. This mod qs divided by cox, it is actually the voltage drop which appears across the oxide. So if we consider weak inversion region where the surface potential phi s is in between phi b and 2 phi b, the numerator, this numerator is much less than unity. Therefore, electric field is very low because electric field is proportional to d phi s dv. Therefore, electric field is very low, and we can say that drift component of current be very less as compared to diffusion component of current. Therefore, in the weak inversion region, or you can say the subthreshold region, the current is mainly dominated by diffusion component of current. So is it clear? Miss Bobita? Ashit? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any question so far from anybody? If you have any question or any doubt, I can again explain. So can anybody explain why the diffusion component of current dominates in the subthreshold region of operation? I am opening this slide. From this slide, you can explain from this equation number 41. This Sudeep Malakar. Can you explain? Then Tuhin Sarkar. No. I am talking about why in the subthreshold region diffusion component of current dominates. In Shovik Shah. Orgodip. Nobody is responding. See, drain current, it consists of two components. One is drift component of current, another is diffusion component of current. I already told you the total drain current that is proportional to dV dy, and only the drift component of current that is proportional to the electric field along the channel. And that electric field or is proportional to d phi s dy, or it can be transformed to d phi s dv. Both are same. D phi s dy can be transformed to d phi s dv. Now you observe this equation number 41. On the left hand side, what is this? It is basically a term which is proportional to the electric field along the channel. So if this term becomes more, that means it will raise the drift component of electric current. So when the device operates in the sub threshold region or it is in the weak inversion region, both are same. This numerator, you see this term, it is not much. Therefore, this d phi s dv is much less than unity. It is very low, much less than unity. That is why the drift component of current is very low in the subthreshold region of operation. So then total current will be dominated by naturally the diffusion component of current, because the total current is the sum of drift component plus diffusion component. So now is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I come to the strong inversion region of operation, where this d phi s dv is approximately unity. That means what will happen? The drift component of current will dominate over diffusion component of current. So beyond the, or when the device reaches the onset of strong inversion, this d phi s dv becomes approximately equal to unity. And before that, it was very less than unity. But at the onset of strong inversion, it is approximately equal to unity. Therefore, the drift component of current dominates. So now you can see this actually semi-log plot of, we have plotted this drain current as a function of gate voltage. This drain current is plotted in log scale along the y-axis, and the gate voltage is plotted along the x-axis. It is a linear scale. So total current is shown by this continuous line, continuous curve, and drift component is actually this dashed line, and shown in red. This is the drift component. So when the device operates in the subthreshold region, means less than 0.7 volt, it is the region of subthreshold region. Here you see the drift component is much lower, and this continuous curve is higher. If we draw a vertical line around say 0.5 volt, so you will say the drift component is very low, and the total current is high. It is in the log scale. So means the total current is contributed by the diffusion component of current. But diffusion component of current actually contributes a lot to the total current. So as the gate voltage increases, what happens? The drift component of current actually merges with the total component of current, and the diffusion component of current separates out at the bottom. So that means when the device operates in the strong inversion region, then the drift component of current dominates over this diffusion component of current. But in the sub-threshold region, you see that you cannot actually relocate or separate out this diffusion component of current. Whereas on the strong inversion region, what happens? You cannot separate this drift component of current from the total current, because the drift component of current contributes a lot, means the major portion to the total current when the device operates in the strong inversion region of operation. So this bending of the total current around say it is 0.7 volt. So it is the position of the threshold voltage, and beyond that it is strong inversion region of operation, and below it it is the subthreshold region of operation. So it is actually the transfer characteristic curve plotted in the semi-log scale. So drain current is plotted in log scale, whereas gate voltage is plotted in linear scale. So if you have any question, you can ask me because it is very important. This D Chakraborty, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I come to the subthreshold current expression for the subthreshold current. So you know that the total charge density in silicon can be given by minus Qs because it is the inversion electrons mainly. Then it is equal to, and also the depletion charge, that is also negative, means ionized acceptors. So minus Qs, that is equal to minus epsilon into surface electric field Es, that can be given by this equation. And it has got first term is Q phi s by kt, and the second term is Ni square by N square e to the power minus Q into surface potential phi s minus V divided by kt whole to the power half. And there is some multiplying factor of root over 2 epsilon silicon kt into Na. So in the weak inversion, the second term in the bracket is much less than the first term. So in the weak inversion region, you can only take the first term. You can neglect the second term. So this equation can be expanded into a power series. This exponential term, you can expand it into a power series. So the 0th term in the series, it is actually indicates the depletion charge density minus Qd. You know that the depletion charge density consists of ionized acceptors. And the first order term gives you the inversion charge density. So here is inversion charge density, and after a little bit of mathematical algebraic calculation, you can arrive at this equation number 42. So minus Qi, it is the inversion charge density. It is equal to root over epsilon silicon Q into Na divided by twice phi s kt by Q Ni by Na whole square e to the power Q Is minus V divided by kt. So in the subthreshold region, the inversion charge density is quite small, and phi s can be considered as a function of the gate voltage, and it is independent of V, because V actually it is created due to application of the drain bias. So this means that the electric field along the channel direction is quite small, and hence the drift current is very, very small or negligible. So now we want to calculate the drain current in the subthreshold region. So if we substitute this equation number 42 in earlier equation, means equation 24, then you can get this relationship. IDS equal to mu effective. Mu effective means is the effective electron mobility in the channel. W by L. W is the width of the channel. L is the channel length. And root over epsilon silicon means it is the permittivity of silicon. Q is the electronic charge. Na is the doping concentration in the channel, doping concentration or substrate doping concentration, divided by twice phi s. Phi s is the surface potential. Kt, you know this, Kt by Q whole square. Ni means intrinsic carrier concentration divided by substrate doping whole square e to the power Q into surface potential divided by Kt into 1 minus e to the power minus Q Vds by Kt. Vds equal to, it is the drain voltage with respect to source. So it can be actually written as, it is nothing but this integration 0 to V ds minus Q V dV. So this entire equation can be reduced. This is actually equation number 24. this is reason for your convenience. So it is actually gives you the drain current in the subthreshold region of operation. So there is some calculation of this depletion charge in terms of the surface potential. I will give you the notes so that you can carry out this mathematical manipulation at home. So it is equal to actually when we can actually assume this delta that is equal to phi s minus 2 phi b, and the gate voltage can be written by this relationship. And again, there will be some expansion within the square root, and you can get the simplified form of this Vg in terms of the surface potential. That is Vg gate voltage, that is equal to threshold voltage plus M into phi s minus 2 phi b. So if we use this expression, this Na, that is Ni e to the power phi fp by kt, you know that I already mentioned phi fp is nothing but phi b, both are same. Then Ni by Na whole square, that is equal to e to the power minus twice q phi b by kt. So from this equation number 40 to 43, we can write the expression from the drain current, that is equal to this one. Although it looks complicated one, but it is not so complicated once you carry out this derivation. So most important thing to note here that on the last term within this first bracket, that is minus q into VDS divided by KT. So if VDS becomes high, what will happen? This exponential term will be negligibly small in comparison with 1 because of this minus sign. So what does it mean? It means that under high drain bias, this subthreshold current actually independent of drain bias. It is very important point you must note. The subthreshold current, it is independent of the drain bias when VDS is much less than KT by Q. KT by Q is the thermal voltage. So it is 26 millivolt at room temperature. So now we come to another important concept, that is the subthreshold swing or subthreshold slope. Actually, it is the inverse of the subthreshold slope S, and it can be given by S equal to D of log IDS to the base 10 dVg inverse. So it is actually this term S, it is the inverse subthreshold slope. If we look at these characteristics, so inverse of the subthreshold slope, that can be defined by this mathematical expression d of log IDS to the base 10 dVg whole to the power minus 1. So it is actually inverse subthreshold slope. But we generally call this a subthreshold slope, but actually it is the inverse subthreshold slope. So if we carry out some mathematical computations, it turns out to be 2.3 into m kt by q, where m equal to 1 plus CDM plus CDM by COX. CDM is the depletion capacitance and COX is the oxide capacitance. So m equal to 1 plus CDM divided by COX. The typical value of this inverse subthreshold slope, it is 70 to 100 millivolt per decade. Decade means a factor of 10. So if we start with 10 millivolt, 1 decade above means it is 100 millivolt. If we start with 100 millivolt, 1 decade above means it is 1 volt. So like this. So typical value of this inverse subthreshold slope, it is actually 70 to 100 millivolt. So here, so if this silicon dioxide interface trap charge density is high, this subthreshold slope is even more high. Even degraded means the higher the value of subthreshold swing, the more the degradation. So it is very important because if there is a appreciable amount of interface trap charge density, the capacitance associated with this interface trap charge density comes in parallel with this depletion capacitance. So parallel combination of capacitance means capacitance will be higher. So this will actually gives rise to higher value of inverse subthreshold slope, and higher value of inverse subthreshold slope means the curve will be flatter. In the subthreshold region, the curve will be flatter, and that will actually result in the higher value of offstate leakage current. And you cannot use it this device for low power applications. So we actually need a very steeper subthreshold slope. Means it is ideal value of the subthreshold swing is 60 millivolt per decade. You cannot actually go below that because of this one term. So even if you neglect CDM, what will be the value of subthreshold swing? This is 2.3 into kT by Q. kT by Q is at room temperature, it is 26 actually millivolt. So 26 into 2.3 means 60 millivolt per decade. So ideally, this inverse subthreshold slope, it is 60 millivolt per decade. Even if you actually assume the ideal condition, ideal MOSFET, you cannot reduce the subthreshold slope below 60 millivolt per decade. You can go on the higher side, but you cannot come down. So this is very important to know about the subthreshold swing. If you have any question, you can ask me. So you see here the steepness of the subthreshold swing. So it is actually the variation of this drain current with gate voltage when the device operates in the subthreshold region of operation. It indicates this inverse slope. Any question? This is Arghadip. No question. Sumit.
No, sir.
So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So I can go to the next topic then. তাহলে আমি আগে এক্সপ্লেন করলাম যে যত সাবথ্রেশল সুইংটা তোমার ইনভার্স অফ দ্য সাবথ্রেশল স্লোপ এটা কম হয় তত ভালো, কিন্তু কম তার খুশি মতো করা যায় না। তার আইডিয়াল ভ্যালু হচ্ছে, লোয়েস্ট ভ্যালু হচ্ছে 60 মিলিভোল্ট পার ডিকেড। এই 60 মিলিভোল্ট পার ডিকেডের কাছাকাছি হলে আমাদের যে ডিভাইসটা সেটা লো পাওয়ার অ্যাপ্লিকেশনের জন্য ইউজফুল হবে। তার কারণ, so when the device will be in the off condition, the current flowing through the device, that means the subthreshold leakage current, that will be very, very small. And in the VLSI circuits, it will be very much useful, where you can find a large number of devices are integrated together within a very small area of the chip. সেখানে পাওয়ার রিকোয়ারমেন্ট যত লো হয় তত ভালো। সেই জন্য উই প্রেফার a lower value of subthreshold slope rather than higher value of subthreshold slope, rather than the device with a higher value of subthreshold slope. So সেই জন্য উই সবসময় আমরা প্রেফার করব যে যে ডিভাইসগুলোর লো ভ্যালু অফ সাবথ্রেশল সুইং আছে সেইগুলোকে সিলেক্ট করতে বা ডিজাইন করতে। এবার আমরা দেখব যে হোয়াট আর দ্য influence of substrate bias on the threshold voltage of a MOSFET. So you know that the threshold voltage is a very important parameter, electrical parameter pertaining to the MOSFET. So it is actually the schematic diagram, this cross-sectional view of this MOSFET. So source is grounded. This channel, it is actually p-type silicon. N plus source means heavily doped with donors, heavily doped drain with donor impurities, and VG is the gate bias, VDS is also the gate bias, and VBS, it is actually the substrate bias. So what would be the impact of the substrate bias on the threshold voltage of the device? So we want to use the earlier derived equations. So in order to use the earlier equations, we have to modify this electrical equivalent of these bias conditions. You know that the potential can be measured from any arbitrary reference. So if we add plus VBS to each and every terminal voltages, what will happen? So on the bottom, minus VBS plus VBS means it is 0. So then you can actually put the substrate to ground. So if you just see the figure at the bottom, so substrate is grounded, means we are adding plus VBS to each terminal voltages. So then what will happen at the source? So 0 plus VBS means source will be lifted by VBS. So source is connected to positive voltage, that is VBS. Similarly, gate VG plus VBS, and drain voltage will be VDS plus VBS. Now this structure is useful so that you can use the earlier derived equation. So if we look at the equation number 32, this inversion charge density, which is calculated using this charge sheet model, that is equal to minus COX into VG plus VBS minus VFB minus 2phi minus V plus root over twice epsilon silicon Q Na into 2phi plus V. So here V is actually the additional voltage, and what type of voltage? It is actually the reverse bias between a point in the channel and substrate. So V is assumed to be positive when it is actually, it creates a reverse bias to the channel substrate diode. I already explained earlier. So the current can be obtained by integrating this inversion charge Qi from the source to drain. That means source voltage is VBS, and now the drain voltage is VBS plus VDS. and you can obtain this relationship, this drain current, that is equal to mu effective COX W by L, and it contains a number of terms, but the modification is done over here on the last term, where this 2 phi b plus VBS plus VDS whole to the power 3 by 2 minus twice phi b plus VBS whole to the power 3 by 2. So in the second term, actually the substrate bias appears. So therefore, this drain current will be modified uh, due to the presence of the substrate bias in a complex way. So here I think you have got this point. What we have done, we have used the earlier derived equations and we made this electrical equivalent of these MOSFET bias conditions. Just we have added a voltage to each terminal voltages, so that we can make the substrate connected to ground. This is the purpose, uh, uh, how we are using earlier derived equation and we modified the terminal voltages in this way. So if you have any question, you can ask me. This is possible because this potential can be measured from any arbitrary reference. Our intention is to connect the substrate to ground. Substrate is to be held at a ground potential, and in order to do this, we have to add uh, VBS with minus VBS, so that we can set the substrate to ground, and therefore other terminal voltages will be lifted by an amount of VBS. And now we can apply the previously derived equation easily with these modifications. So from this equation, we can also write the expression for the threshold voltage, that is VTH, equal to flat band voltage plus 2 phi b root over, it is the depletion charge. You know that in a reverse bias condition, this depletion charge is higher due to the presence of VBS along with 2 phi b. So this effect of reverse substrate bias is to widen the bulk depletion region, and it actually raises the uh, threshold voltage. So this is very important point, you must note it. So the effect of reverse substrate bias is to widen the bulk depletion region, and it raises the threshold voltage. So the variation of this threshold voltage with substrate bias, that is dVTH dVBS, it is equal to root over epsilon SI Q Na divided by twice into 2 phi b plus VBS by COX. This is actually referred to as the substrate sensitivity. And if we plot the variation of threshold voltage with this is actually reverse substrate bias, you will find there is a rise in the threshold voltage, and this rise becomes more pronounced when the substrate doping is high, because when Na changes from 3 into 10 to the power 15 to 10 to the power 16, there is the rate of rise is much more. So it is an important feature, you must note it. The variation of substrate, this is threshold voltage with bias condition, reverse bias condition particularly. So today I will not discuss you any other topic. Next class I will take on 20th, because your examination will be in the month of February, most probably from 10th but you will get this notification from your respective coordinators. Any question?
No, sir.
মানে তোমাদের অন্য কোর্সগুলো কি শেষ হয়ে গেছে নাকি প্রায় শেষের দিকে? সিআর
প্রায় শেষের দিকে কয়েকটা সাবজেক্ট শেষ হয়েছে, যেমন ইএম থিওরি, অ্যাডভান্সড ইলেকট্রোম্যাগনেটিক থিওরি প্রায় শেষের দিকে,
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
বিএমএম এর পার্টটাও শেষ, এরকম
তার
শেষের
মানে
দিকে
তোমরা
সবকটা
আরো
শেষ।
সময় পাচ্ছ, ভালো করে প্রিপারেশন নেওয়ার সময় পেয়ে গেলে। মোস্ট প্রবাবলি এখনো রুটিন ফাইনালাইজ হয়নি, ফেব্রুয়ারির হয়তো 10 ফেব্রুয়ারি থেকে শুরু হবে, তো এখন অনেকটা সময় আছে। ইউ ক্যান প্রিপেয়ার ওয়েল। যারা পার্টিকুলারলি লেট জয়েন করেছো ডিপার্টমেন্টে তাদের পক্ষে সুবিধা হবে। আচ্ছা, আমি লাস্ট কোন নোট পর্যন্ত দিয়েছিলাম তোমাদের? এইগুলো দিয়েছিলাম পাওসা?
না মনে হয় স্যার।
পাওসা ইকুয়েশন এইগুলো আমি পাঠিয়ে দেবো আজকে, দুটো নোট পাঠিয়ে দেবো। আবার নেক্সট হচ্ছে আমার ওইটাই লাস্ট ক্লাস, মানে 20 তারিখে নেবো তোমাদের 7টায়। আর আজকে যেগুলো পাঠিয়ে দিচ্ছি তোমরা দেখে রাখবে, যদি কোনো মিসিং নোট মানে পাওনি এরকম হয় ওই দিন বলে দেবে, আমি পাঠিয়ে দেবো। আর অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সটা দিয়ে দিও আমাকে।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, আজকে পাঠিয়ে দেবো।
ওকে
স্যার একটা কথা।
হ্যাঁ বলো।
স্যার কালকে কি আপনি যাবেন কলেজে?
না না, তোমাদের যা দরকার হবে তোমরা অফিসে শরবিন্দু বাবুর সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ করবে।
হ্যাঁ, ওনার
যা
সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ।
স্কলারশিপ সার্টিফিকেট যা কিছু নেয়ার এরকম নয় যে হেড থাকলেই সই করে